Hello, thank you for watching Jared Hood Sports. It's been a while. Went on vacation and right before it didn't do a video for a couple of days. Came back, didn't do a video for a couple of days, so I haven't done anything on the NBA Finals, and we'll get there. This video today is going to be about the NIL rules for the NCAA. I was hurt by the Sixers, so maybe that's why I took a couple of days off before vacation. No. Um, but when I came back, while I was on vacation, while I kept up with sports a little, I didn't keep up with them enough. I was going to do a show, and I was just, I had a good vacation. So, we're back. This video today that I'm doing is, if you know me, I've been passionate about the players or the athletes in college athletics in sports for the NCAA getting paid. The NCAA is still kind of getting away with stuff. They're still crooked. They're still on their own thing. They still do not do what their mission states on their websites and everywhere that you can read about, equality and for the athlete. Blah, da, 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 da. They're not. They do not follow that mission, and this video is not exonerating them of the way I felt about them for a long time and the way I still feel about them. As scum. But our lawmakers, who I do not like either, they were pushed enough by people. I know a human being named Eric. He was part of a small group that was either with lobbyists or talked to lobbyists. Basically, 10 years ago almost. He was explaining to me things that they were trying to do to get it to Congress and through Congress. And this took for a state, California, and then a couple other states followed, but states to start to push it. And then next thing you know, federal government had to get in. Next thing you know, everybody now has to basically play by the same rules, or else you don't have a chance for your universities to win. And a lot of the states own the university, so it only made sense for like the state of Wisconsin or Pennsylvania or Florida. Just EC. I mean, you could go all across every state in America owns universities, and so this makes sense. If you weren't going to get with this, you weren't going to get the best athletes. So it's just one of those things. So everyone's now with it. And so when this came out, I wanted to do a video on it, but then I kind of backed off because I was like, okay, I'm excited. I'm glad we're here. I thought of the opportunities and the things that could happen, but then I was like, no, let me see it play out. Let me put a reaction video out because I was excited and I thought this would go really good places with this ruling and where college players can get paid for their own name, image, and likeness. But I didn't know where it could go. So I didn't want to try to analyze it and just be completely way off because I honestly had 100 theories and I didn't know really which one was going to land. It has gone better than I could have even imagined, if I'm being honest with you. The first night, we'll talk about what De'Aaron King did, but he popped it off from right there. And so I'll get to that. I'm excited for things like what I did think was going to happen was like position players or basically the best example I have for you was the whole offensive alignment in Notre Dame is sponsored by Mission Barbecue now, right? Not the first barbecue place to do it with offensive line. Whoever came up with that idea across America, genius, and everyone doing it. Kudos to all the barbecue places, and pretty awesome for the offensive linemen to be involved with it. So I think that's pretty neat, like the whole position group thing getting paid. And I actually thought that those things could happen. And I thought before this, one of the things that I thought could happen, and this isn't going to manifest for maybe 2, 3, 4 years down the road, but I'll use, and no offense to anybody who likes, Coastal Carolina or Eastern Carolina or even Boise State, who's always been right there. This is going to open up, if they have a booster, even just 1 or 2 boosters that have let's not say Phil Knight money, excuse me, but have a lot of money, right? It might level out the playing field for one of them to actually get in the game and be a lot closer to the Notre Dames and the Alabamas and the Penn States and the Ohio States. And actually, I know Boise State's been right there and they've had the teams and whatnot, but my point is they could be on it now. It's not just right there. And that's kind of with expansion of the playoffs as well would be something that helps that. But with this particular rule, I think, excuse me, I think it could be a trickle down effect. really help schools like that. One or two, three, four schools that are going to pop out of the woodwork because there are just two, three, four boosters on there that are alumni that end up doing stuff like that. So I think that is going to be so like an effect, a cause and effect. But outside of that, like I didn't. De'Aaron King, the quarterback for Miami, perfect position for this, right? He's already got a name. He plays for a school that everyone knows, national school. Look, the first night, okay, 20,000 uh, uh, $20,000 for an apparel deal with an apparel company, right? He's getting paid to do a podcast. Okay, he announced that basically the first night. He's getting paid for a website, so there's another couple thousand a month from those two. Uh, he hired a creative director to help him with the podcast and with the website. I mean, so like he's now running basically his own company, which college could help him, but that's pretty good experience too. And on top of it, then he started the NIL marketplace, which I just looked it up just to see what would be on the NIL marketplace. And basically, if you have a company, you can decide to go help sponsor a school or players at a school or whatever. You can basically apply for it. Is the best way to put it. So he's going to help companies and athletes hook up and be right and for the best situations for them. He's launched that. Like I mean, it's pretty awesome and impressive stuff going on there, and that was the first night. We're 24 hours into it basically at that point, and I'm just like, wow. I mean, this could be um, further than I ever thought. Like players could be running full companies. He also, from what I read, is trying to figure out a way, or not trying to. He's already figured out a way to help that money, that 20,000, that probably a couple thousand he gets for the podcast and website, blah blah blah, to trickle down to some of his teammates. Not all of his teammates. He's trying to figure out percentages to go throughout the team, so that he can share the wealth and get them involved in the game. And for a school like Miami, I'm a Notre Dame fan. For Notre Dame, Alabama, we know how good they have been, and Clemson how good they have been. But a team like Virginia Tech, like they have a ton of alumni who would be able to probably get them a lot closer than ever before. That's also kind of where back to the parity thing I was talking about and the expanded playoffs. Look, I've been somebody who I gave up years. When I was, I've loved sports since the time I can remember. And I've been analyzing sports in a ridiculous way that nobody cares about forever. Um, and when I was younger, I used to really just like fight against the idea of like expand any playoff or championship and blah blah blah. As I've gotten older, listen, every other sport has expanded and it has been better for their brand. There's just I can't argue that. And I'm not saying I like it better or dislike it anymore. I like it more than I would have ever thought, and I don't dislike it at all. So like, it's one of those like I don't know. I was fighting against it because it was an unknown, not because like and I didn't see the benefits. The benefit I thought of expanding from obviously the BCS is that now we do have teams that have a chance. We're at the point now where this has expanded to we have funneled it down to only a couple teams really have a chance. So now if you open it up more, even before the random school with the random rich booster that's gonna or wealthy, let's say the wealthy booster that's gonna pop that school into the next level from where they were. Already with that in play, now an expanded playoff that went from 4 to now I think they're talking 8 or 12. It adds more parity. Like basketball, this is the first year that parity's been real. But at the end of the day, like we have seen an 8 seed upset a 1 seed. Um, in college basketball, we've seen a 16, and I'm not saying we should go to 60 teams in college football, but like I used to make an argument that 16 teams isn't crazy if you start looking at the percentages of how many baseball teams make the playoffs now, how many football teams make the playoffs now, how many NBA and NHL teams always made the playoffs since I can remember. So like when you look at that, I've always felt like there was an argument that you could actually get more parity by expanding the postseason, or at least it look. And I hate the whole imagery. It's gonna feel like a parody at minimum. I mean, there's gonna be, and you can't tell me a home game for Ohio State or Notre Dame or Penn State. Cal. I mean, a home game for a team in the playoff, quote unquote, is a pretty cool idea, even if the top seeds have buys and aren't able to be part of that. Or maybe they do in the second round. Maybe I didn't read it correctly. I forget. But because it was a couple weeks ago that this whole thing was proposed, it went away a little bit. I think this kind of took the forefront, and everybody wanted to see how this unfolded first. But there will be something, I think, coming in the next year on the college football playoff expansion. And I think that would be good. So, I think it'd be pretty cool, to like, there's definitely room now to be creative directors or uh, almost an agent like for these players to help them get to the right situation, the right companies like King has set up that website, and it's really cool. It's really cool to see, and I'm very glad that it happened, and I hope it can go further one day. The NCAA maybe gets involved with schools and selling the T-shirts with the numbers and the player's name. And like, there's a lot of cool things that can definitely start to go forward because of this. So very excited it happened. Um, Definitely going to be talking more sports. Like I said, NBA finals are going on. MLB's been pretty interesting. That NL West is nuts. But the MLB as a whole has been interesting. All Star break coming up. Maybe I'll talk a little bit there for the All Star break. But I'll definitely be talking the finals. Tampa Bay back to back Stanley Cup. Maybe I'll throw that in a video. That's pretty impressive. Less than a year, two cups if I'm not mistaken, because of the bubble. Pretty cool. Not for me, but for them. Not a. I'm a Flyers fan, so but I'll be talking more sports. I will definitely be. But anyways, thank you for watching, Jared.